So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zu der letzten Folge von Zero Escape, nicht The No New Games, Nine Hours, Nine Persons, Nine Doors. Fängt ja super an, die Folge. Aber ja, heute kommt das große Finale. Es wird eine ziemliche Mammutfolge, da bin ich mir jetzt schon sicher. Aber beginnen wir einfach mal. Ich setze mich bequem hin. The door opened and they stumbled into the library.
Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger. You're right. Let's hurry.
They ran across the hallway,
This exit needs the Uranus card too.
straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus keycard reader.
Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know.
They slid the keycard through and the door rumbled open.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it.
Okay, Neptune Key, let's see if you work.
He turned it.
Yes! I think it unlocked.
The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque.
It says incinerator.
Den Ort kennen wir.
So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door. Yeah, right here.
Junpei ran up to it.
Pull that and the door should open. Got it.
As he spoke, he pulled the lever. The motor in the door groaned as it slowly ground open. There was no time to waste.
Let's go.
As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. Then suddenly, there before them were the four who they'd parted from earlier. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Sander was curled into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. And then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted.
What the hell is going on?
Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down.
What's wrong? Are you okay?
Her face was pale and her lips dry. When she spoke, he could barely hear her.
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
She mumbled the same words over and over. Weakly, Junpei could feel his heart breaking.
Hey, what happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking towards Santa. Junpei turned to look as well.
Santa.
Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared at him.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook him.
I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
Ace.
Wer hätte das bloß erwartet? He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes weren't flickering up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Junpei's voice was casual. Or at least it was trying to be.
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that,
Good question.
Junpei couldn't say, he just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand on the scanner.
First is 1. Give me your hand.
It beeped and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well.
8. And with this,
Then at last he reached into the pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. The third asterisk appeared on the red.
9.
The thing he had used for the final verification was the bracelet with the number 9.
The ninth man. Kubota's bracelet.
1 plus 8 plus 9 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood boil.
I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is.
Junpei's eyes flicked towards Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain, but he wasn't sure. Nochmal von vorn. Junpei wasn't sure it was real pain, but he wasn't sure it wasn't either.
What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye. Wait!
Ace, of course, paid no need to Seven's... No need, verdammt, ich mach das so schnell, merke ich gerade. Tut mir echt leid. Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it. Das ist jetzt so ein bisschen antiklimatisch.
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time.
Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but... At the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red.
Now open!
He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever a second time.
No! What is this? Why? That digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Ace's fury and confusion had overridden all other thoughts. He had set down the revolver. It was just below the red.
Now!
Seven chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. Das klang schmerzhaft. Ich trinke mal kurz einen Schluck. It was over before they knew it.
No!
In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain.
Ugh.
Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace, his breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity on his face.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet. Alright, we'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital route.
Ja, die Rechnung kennen wir ja. Streng genommen hatte das alles ja schon mal von Ace gehört, allerdings eigentlich nicht in dieser Zeitlinie.
Which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power. In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki. 3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most disturbing, you used Kubota as a test. You wanted to know how serious this nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota, but he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki. Chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the Red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
And you mean to say... Snake is still alive?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Ace's self-derision was frustrating. But Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musa Shido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle, which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All you had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musa Shido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took. And then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote. But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. Had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you. You must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace.
That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out.
Musa Shido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it. But why?
Ja, das ist jetzt eine sehr gute Frage. Bei den anderen sind die Motive sehr klar gewesen.
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It was a folded piece of paper.
What's with the paper?
Just read it.
Junpei took it and opened it.
Let's see.
This was what it said.
Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the Nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please. 0.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musa Shido, I mean.
I only knew Musa Shido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace had confessed everything. What energy had left him... nochmal von vorne. What energy he had left him with the truth, and he sagged on his knees. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet. But in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke quietly.
Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, So it would seem. I was little more than a puppet, in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Junpei looked over at Santa. As Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaky.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh?
Seven's face was sad as he spoke.
My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the nonary game this time around was Zero. And Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh?
Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurashiki. I was one of the kids in the nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's 2 things you got wrong. Number 1, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant, like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say 2 things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said, all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the nonary game. To save someone.
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw...
Suddenly, Seven froze. His eyes went as wide as dinner plates and he spun around toward June. Junpei followed his gaze.
What?
She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing.
What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurashiki?
Seven began to mumble to himself, a strange series of words strung together, as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. His face was twisted with effort, as though he were struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the sides of his head.
Ugh! Oh, my head! My head, it feels like it's gonna pop!
Seven! What the hell is going on?
I don't know, I just... Oh! I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured.
What was the nonary project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For 2 organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were 2 separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
Well, that's...
The answer to that was easy. He knew because I knew. Jetzt kommt der schöne 4. Wandbruch. Junpei was receiving information that I sent to him through the morphic field set. It's simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures, then? Imagine a river that splits in 2 like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom, from a single stream into 2 branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river's source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river. But I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. But I'm also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really 0. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than 0. 0 is my future. In 9 years, I will be 0. Jetzt sind wir im Adventure-Screen und können gar nicht mehr weg. Ihr seht, das Ding ist ausgegraut. Stellt sich jetzt die Frage, wer war das? Und wieso in 9 Jahren? Wird lustig. Where did she go? June? No, Akane. Where did you go?
Santa!
Why is Clover... Oh shit.
Freeze.
Santa's got the gun. Guess he picked it up when we weren't watching. Looks like he's turned the tables on Ace, though. Wonder how he likes having a gun to his head.
Get up.
Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any numbered doors with just 2 people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out. And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime soon.
Oh, you mean we're trapped?
So it would seem.
What the hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No. No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. Shit, we've got to do something. Maybe we can still get out through door 9. That's the red. Yeah, alright, we can do this. I just gotta... No, it's not gonna work. There's no way. The 5 of us can't open this door. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 equals 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Is there any combination that'll work?
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Sure, why not? I don't think I'm gonna need them. Ever again. Well, she certainly looks purposeful. Looks like she's writing equations. A lot of them. Huh? Oh man, she doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
Alright, at least 7 got it away from her. Maybe now I can get a look at what she was writing. Let's see.
What?
And there's no other way?
Lotus. Ja, wir sehen, es gibt nur eine einzige Kombination mit den 5 Leuten, die als Quersumme was ergibt, was durch 9 teilbar ist. Also deren also eine radikale Quersumme 9 ergibt. Und da ist Lotus nicht bei. Looks like she'd figured it out, though. Man, this is just too cruel.
It's okay. Go.
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do that.
Don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
God damn it, you idiot!
Whoa, where the hell did that come from? Looks like she expected that about much as I did.
Without... if you're not... Look, it'd be bad, alright?
For a cop, he sure doesn't have much confidence.
Bad?
Yeah. If there weren't assholes like you around, I'd be out of a job.
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you behind, alright? End of story.
7.
He's right. I'm not leaving you either.
Me too.
You didn't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you?
You're all idiots.
Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry.
That being said, however, I doubt we would be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind.
Huh? Why?
I trust you remember what happened to Ace? I couldn't, see exactly what happened, but I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier at the Red.
Oh, yeah.
No! What is this? Why? The digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Just to see, why don't we give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
Yes, that is what I said.
Two plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
You were right.
It ain't opening.
But it did open 9 years ago. The digital route was 9 then, I'm sure of it.
You think maybe they changed the settings?
Perhaps.
Shit. If we can't get through the door, we can't get out. The walls are way too high. There's no way in hell we could get to that hole 7 popped out 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with a 9 on it. I guess this is it. This is the end. Perspektivwechsel. Ihr seht oben rechts Akane Vision. Ich kann das auch nicht mehr wechseln. Und ja, eigentlich hätte ich die ganze Zeit die Erzählerstimme deutlich höher vorlesen müssen. Ja, ihr werdet es mitkriegen. Also, ich werde es trotzdem weiter normal vorlesen, weil auf Dauer ist das mit der hohen Stimme für mich dann sehr anstrengend. Das klingt halt auch noch blöd. I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums I heard. Smell, taste, touch. I felt everything he felt. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic field set, we were resonant, and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time, I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off on the ship we were on. That was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him, and we became one. Instead of Junpei, somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future. But I didn't lose myself. I was living in 2 realities at once. One was the present, and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as 2 movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually, it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. That was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
That was my brother Aoi. He was yelling. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Come on, hurry up!
We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got in a fist fight. A girl watching them began to cry. I want to go home, she cried. I want to go home. Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It has been 2 hours since the nonary game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake. Ja, ihr hören wird, der richtige Name von Snake ist eigentlich Light. Übrigens der richtige Name von... Was heißt der richtige Name? Im japanischen Original wurde Clover Yotsuba genannt. Einige sagen, das ist wohl Anspielung auf berühmte Animes. Ich glaube, bei Yotsuba heißt der Anime auch so ähnlich. Light ist wohl eine Anspielung auf Death Note. Und noch eine Kleinigkeit. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob ich das in dem Let's Play gemacht habe. Wenn man mit Snake, also wenn man durch eine bestimmte Tür geht, durch Tür 5, kommt ja Snake mit. Und wenn man dann eine Lampe ansieht, kann man so, dann sagt Junpei halt im Englischen, at least we have light. Und darauf reagiert Snake ziemlich irritiert erstmal, bis man ihm erzählt, dass man die Lampe meint. Und das ist eine einfach, weil er so heißt. Das ist, finde ich, einfach schon cool gemacht. Aber erstmal weiter.
Hello, everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us, and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
Da haben wir's. Oh, das heißt, Clover ist sogar, wenn das genau 9 Jahre her ist, an diesem Tag 18 geworden in dem eigentlichen Spiel. Also im Non-Game der Gegenwart quasi. Interessant. Aber ja, Clovers Deckname war kein Deckname, die heißt wirklich so. As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. In his hands were 9 four-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me. And I hope that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 four-leaf clovers would be appropriate. Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck? Those words are leaf words. So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends.
Jetzt wissen wir auch, woher diese Sache kommt mit den Wörtern. Und eine Sache, fällt euch was auf, wem das Mädchen ganz unten im Bild ähnlich sieht? Wir haben ja auch erfahren, dass die beiden Töchter von Lotus mitgemacht haben. Aber erstmal weiter. He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually, he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Now don't ever forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with a number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had another number 9, but this time it was the only one. But if there was only one door, that meant only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors!
We began to panic. Then, as if things had not gotten bad enough already,
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good.
my brother Aoi swallowed hard and answered.
I think it means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator. And that voice said that the incineration is about to start. And incinerate means to burn.
No! Help me!
Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. Then, high up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. He was a huge, frightening mountain of a man, as large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him 7.
Don't worry, kids, I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like Seven had said it. The 4 of us who had stayed behind were saved by Seven. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down into the hall. We came out on the other side of door 9. On the wall opposite to the door was a set of double doors. Went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me were Nona, das war wohl dann das schwarzhaarige Mädchen, my brother Aoi, Snake, and Seven. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually, I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. That was when I realized...
Oh no, where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present?
I knew I'd had it with me when we passed through the vent. Then, had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back, I had to. But I knew I couldn't tell the others. They would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall, the room that connected to all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. I moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back toward the stairs and freedom... The door to the incinerator opened and a man stepped out. It was Hongo. Gentaro Hongo. 9 years later, we would call him Ace.
Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt Hongo's hand close over my left wrist.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
No! Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hongo to let go of me. But I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like Hongo.
Stop struggling, goddammit! Do as I tell you!
He heaved on my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Then suddenly...
Akane!
The door to the stairs flew open. And my brother Aoi burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake.
Akane!
He cried my name again as he leapt toward Hongo.
You came back!
I cried out. But then...
Ah! You're too late, idiot!
Hongo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator.
Ah!
The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hongo stood between it and me, and behind him, I could see my brother, his fist clenched. But those fists never reached Hongo. With a cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the rat that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the rat. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly on the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all, and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later, the 2 other doors slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with a 9.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Then it started again.
Warning. Warning. Emergency Incineration Command has been acknowledged. Incineration will begin in
Wir sind wieder bei Junpei, also Gegenwart.
18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Holy shit. Man, I knew what was gonna... nochmal von vorne. Man, I knew what it was gonna say, but that is one hell of a creepy voice.
I knew it!
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years.
What the hell? What the hell? What in God's name are you talking about? It's 9 years this and 9 years that, and when it's not 9 years something, then you're talking about some sort of fucking experiments. You aren't making any sense.
I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have time to explain it right now. I promise, I'll tell you everything once we get out of here.
But...
Incineration will begin in 17 minutes.
You know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn!
what kind of idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means.
Well...
God damn it! Okay, fine. I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7, figure this out.
What? Why me?
Just shut up and stop this thing!
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button.
There isn't anything like that.
How the hell do you know?
Because I looked for it 9 years ago.
Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. The floor. It's moving. What else can I say about it, but...
What the hell is that?
What is that? What is that?
What else could I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer. At least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off even as more took their place and forced myself forward. Finally I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass drenched in tears. All I can see on the screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm sweating like crazy, but seeing it kind of drives it home. Okay, Junpei, Just calm down. Alright. Everything's gonna be okay. Gah. Man, I wish that thing would just shut up.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, then it's gotta be important. But what the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, move!
Gah. Hey, we're all tense, lady, but that doesn't mean you get to shove people around.
Okay, it's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it?
Sure, just push buttons. I'm sure that'll... well, at least it's on now. What's on the screen, though?
What is this?
What's up?
It looks like some sort of puzzle.
It's got a bunch of numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. The numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this puzzle...
The incinerator will stop? Yeah. Well, we can hope, right?
Alright, puzzle, how do you work? Oh man, that goddamn voice again.
Incineration will begin in 13 minutes.
Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Jumpy had been gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entry door was a face. A frightening, evil face. It was Hongo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do.
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
It's simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hongo, struggling to hold back hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh my! How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
What's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function of the red?
Then I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. The face on my bracelet showed a 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. Wir sehen, sie hat also damals dieselbe Nummer gehabt wie Junpei. I ran to the door with a 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
I hear Hongo's muffled voice from across the room.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of fool are you?
Why are you doing this?
You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I can't! I don't know how!
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution.
I can't!
Then you'll die. You'll burn alive. It's gonna be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful.
His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it.
Incineration will begin in 10 minutes.
I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't! I just can't! There's no way! I can't figure this out!
What was going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think of was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating, and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot. So hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as if it would pound itself to pieces. I reached into my pocket. I wrapped my hand around the thing I'd come back to get. The doll Jumpy had given me. At least, I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me! Jumpy! Help me! Help me! Help me! Jumpy! 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 Please! Help me! Jumpy!
Akane?
Akane?
Who the hell is Akane?
Shut up! Just shut the hell up!
Seven and Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. Clover's looking at me. And I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here?
Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something!
Fuck. Did something break our connection? I swear I just heard her. Shit.
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Jumpy?
I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course. But I'd heard it so clearly. Like he was right there.
Jumpy!
I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Jumpy!
That's her. She's there. Then that means...
Akane! Akane!
Jetzt kommt komischerweise der zweite Satz. Are you in an incinerator right now?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that. Now I understand what Santa meant.
Right. There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
I think I get it now.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Jumpy, we don't have time!
As quickly as I could, I told him... Ah nee, ich fange schon wieder an mit der Stimme an, tut mir echt leid. Ich versuche die Stimme so ein bisschen zu variieren, jetzt nicht so ganz krass, aber ja. As quickly as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator.
Got it!
And I do. I get everything now. At last, I finally understand what all of this means. I know why the nonary game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It was all for this moment. All of this was planned out to lead to this one moment. Oh my god. This is insane. I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. June is... 0 is... Akane Kurashiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now. That means that there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her. I will save Akane Kurashiki. I must save her, no matter what.
Incineration will begin in 6 minutes.
The voice reminded me of how much time I'd left.
Jumpy!
Yeah, I know. Just hang on, all right? I promise I'll get you out of there. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, all right? Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. It felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way.
Hey, what are you...
Just trust me, okay?
Sorry, Lotus, I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake than your pride. I'll apologize later, alright? Now, let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over this grid. I think the panels are out of order. So I just need to switch these out? Staring at it isn't gonna accomplish anything. I'll just have to try it.
Just think of what I did all those times before.
I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.
Das zählt jetzt wieder als Seek a Way Out, ja, also wird quasi als Escape Room genommen, auch wenn das eigentlich nur ein einziges Rätsel ist. Wenn man Hint drückt, gibt's glaube ich einen Satz. Ach nee, Hint? Warte mal. When I pressed Hint, numbers appeared on the empty spots of the grid. They're all single digits. I get the feeling the numbers change when I switch out the yellow squares. But this square at the bottom? That doesn't... Why does it stay blank when I press Hint? Ach ja, er meint das hier. Ja, es ist so, wenn man jetzt drauf achtet. Nehmen wir einfach mal 7, 8, 3. Was könnte das sein? Wir addieren, kommen wir auf 18, Quersumme 9. Es wird also die Quersumme angezeigt. Die Buchstaben werden wieder nach diesem nicht ganz Hexadezimalsystem bearbeitet. Wir müssen bei allem 9 erreichen. Das kriegen wir hin, wenn wir jetzt so genau hingucken. Wenn wir nur Zahlen angrenzend haben, haben wir immer 9. Wir müssen also die Buchstaben mit Zahlen von hier unten ersetzen. Gucken wir zum Beispiel hier. Hier haben wir 11. Wir brauchen also, um auf 18 zu kommen, noch 7. Das heißt, tauschen wir. Zack. Passt. Jetzt haben wir hier 3, 8, sind wir bei 11, 17, fehlen noch 2. So, oder hab ich nichts mehr? Unten gibt's keine. Mist. Ach nee, nicht 2, 1, Idiot. 3, also 17, wir müssen ja auf 18. Zack. Passt. 5, 1 sind wir bei 6. Fehlen noch 3. Wie man sieht, hier steht am Ende einfach nur Password. Success. Please enter password. Ich glaube in dem Fall wohl am ehesten einfach die 9.
Yes, that's it. Akane, did you get it?
Damit haben wir das Rätsel gelöst.
Yes, I did! I solved it! I mean, really, you solved it for me, but I copied everything you did! Now I just have to press enter!
Then what the hell are you waiting for? Push it!
Okay, I will!
I hit the enter key.
Emergency shutdown command has been confirmed. Incineration system has been disabled.
Jumpy! It worked! It worked! The incinerator shut down! It worked!
Tears rolled down my face as I cried out to him, but they were a very different sort of tears. A wonderful feeling of accomplishment and relief flooded my body. At the same time, what strength I had left disappeared and I collapsed to the floor. For a while, I just lay there, laughing and crying and enjoying being alive. Every time I thought about him, I thought my heart would burst.
Whew.
I can't quite believe I did that. But I'm so glad. So glad. I feel like my heart's on fire. No, I don't have time to be thinking about that kind of shit. I need to tell Akane...
Akane, sorry, but things are kind of busy over here. I'm gonna have to hang up now, okay?
Oh, of course, that's fine!
I wiped the tears from my eyes and nodded vigorously, even though I knew he couldn't see me. Then I looked over at the corner of the floor. There were the 2 bracelets Hongo had left behind.
Now.
Well, Seven and Lotus don't look particularly happy with me. Not a very nice look to give someone who just saved your lives, guys.
Junpei, are you...
Okay?
Ah, shut it.
Wenn man bedenkt, dass er die ganze Zeit gerade mit einer Person geredet hat, die vor 9 Jahren das Gespräch quasi angenommen hat. Naja. Right, okay, so maybe they have a reason to be pissed off. So what if I haven't pressed the enter key yet? Alright, nothing holding me back now. Here goes. Wait.
Incineration will begin in 90 seconds.
It doesn't sound like it's stopping.
What the shit? Why isn't it stopping?
Okay, maybe I didn't hit the key hard enough. Just hit it again. And again. And again. Okay, that's not working either. The alarm's still going off. What the hell is going on? I've got all the right numbers in the right boxes. It's perfect. So why the fuck isn't this thing stopping?
Incineration will begin in 60 seconds.
Wait, of course. That's what the numbers that showed up after the puzzle mean. Wir sehen gerade 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. Das sind die Nummern der Leute, die gerade im Raum sind. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. Snake, Clover, me, 7 and Lotus. Then, door 9. No, that's it. That number on the door isn't the 9. It's not even a number.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found.
Seek a way out. Seek a door that...
Holy shit. Of course! Then we just have to put the right number into the red and...
Incineration will begin in 30 seconds.
Run, guys! Get to the door! Run!
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I don't have much time. Man, I sure hope they can just trust me on this one, or we are all fucked. Alright, no time to explain, just go!
Quick! Verify your numbers on the red!
Verify?
Who?
What combination?
All of us! We all need to verify!
Why?
You really think this is a good time to ask questions? Just do it!
Hurry, 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 hurry!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Central gate has been opened. Incineration system has been disabled.
Oh, thank fucking Christ. No. No time to be happy, time to go.
Hurry! We've only got 9 seconds before the door closes! Go, go, go!
Come on, guys, move it. Okay, they're all through. Move it, Junpei. Just in time. And there goes the door. No, don't calm down yet, you're not done. We've still gotta find the dead. Das ging schnell. Aber das Ding hängt neben der Tür.
Shit. Looks like we made it, huh?
Man, that guy sure can laugh when he wants to. Looks like Clover and Lotus are totally out of energy. Snake is shaking his head wearily. Verdammt, jetzt krieg ich die Worte nicht mehr hin. I just want to take a nap, but...
Akane? Akane! Can you hear me? Akane!
I want to tell her we made it. I want to tell her how good I feel. But... nothing. Ja, hier ist augenscheinlich die Quersumme, also die Zahl für die Tür wirklich 9. The door opened. Standing in front of it was my brother.
Akane!
Oi!
I cried his name, even though my voice was almost gone from screaming, and leapt into his arms.
Oh, oi!
Akane!
I buried my face in his chest and cried again. I cried and cried and cried. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me... nochmal von vorn. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me feel like I was home. Its beat was almost like a lullaby. I wrapped my arms around him as far as they would go and held him as tight as I could. Just to be there felt like a miracle. I hadn't felt the warmth of another human body in what had seemed like an eternity. I just wanted to stay there in his arms forever. But I couldn't. The moment I'd passed through the door, my bracelet had begun the countdown to death. I leapt away from him and looked around. The door had already closed. I spotted the dead only a short distance away. It took me only a moment to get to and scan all the bracelets. I left the ones Hongo had dropped on the scanner panel. That was it. I took a deep breath and looked around again. The huge detective who we'd call 7 and 9 years, and Snake, the blind boy, were looking at me. They seemed to have been utterly stunned by my sudden appearance. Their eyes were wide and their mouths hung open.
Alright, let's get out of here. If we don't book it, we might run into Hongo again.
Aoi was right. It was time we got moving. The mention of Hongo seemed to jar Seven and Snake out of their surprise, and they nodded. We took off running, up the spiral stairs to freedom. Time for more running. But if they can't get us out of here, no wonder we're running so hard. My heart's beating so hard I can barely hear. God, I can't wait to breathe real air again. Huh? Is Seven talking?
Hey, Junpei, can I ask you something?
What's up?
That door, the one with the 9 on it. Why'd it open?
Yeah, all 5 of us verified our numbers on the red. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 26. That makes our digital route 8. It shouldn't have opened.
That's not like you, Lotus. I thought you would have figured it out already.
Huh? Why?
Because you were the person who taught me about the idea of bases.
Bases?
Yeah. What are the 2 numbers in base 2?
0 and 1.
How about base 10?
That goes from 0 to 9, right?
Then how about base 16?
0 through F. After 9, it starts at A and goes from there. B, C, D, etc.
You're right. In other words, A in base 16 is 10 in base 10. B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, and so on.
So, what about it?
You don't get it? What if we keep going with that pattern? What if you go way past base 16 all the way to base 27?
Base 27?
Yeah.
Well, the numerical digits are the same. So, I guess you'd add alphabetical digits. E is 14, F is 15, G is 16.
H is 17, I is 18, J is 19.
K is 20, L is 21, M is 22.
N is 23, O is 24, P is...
Yeah, and? What comes after that?
Übrigens habe ich die 25 weggedrückt.
Q.
26!
And what does that mean?
That wasn't a 9 on the door.
It was a Q! A fucking lowercase Q!
Da habt ihr's. Ich finde diese Auflösung so klasse. Und noch eine Sache, die das im japanischen Original deutlich besser macht. Wenn man dann von... Also die haben ja ein anderes Schreibsystem und die Buchstaben werden meistens nach den englischen benannt. Das heißt, die würden den Buchstaben Q auch als Q aussprechen. Das Lustige ist aber, wenn man jetzt im Japanischen mal zählt... Also ich kann so ein bisschen Japanisch zählen. Ich kann nicht Japanisch sprechen oder sowas. Ich kenne einfach nur das Zählsystem. 1 ist Ichi, 2 ist Ni, 3 ist San, 4 ist, je nach Schreibweise, Ion oder Shi, 5 ist Go, 6 ist Roku, 7 ist Nana, 8 ist Hachi, gibt glaube ich auch noch andere Varianten, und 9 ist Q. Also wie das englische Q. Das heißt, das ist quasi auch noch ein Wortspiel. Ach, das finde ich super. Das heißt, da heißt es im Japanischen sucht eine Tür mit Q in der Schreibweise. Und da war nicht zwingend gemeint, dass das eine 9 sein muss, sondern es könnte auch ein englisch, also ein lateinisches Q sein. Ach, ich finde das klasse. Damit haben wir die Auflösung, warum es mit der Tür nicht funktioniert hat.
Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess to put it another way, you could say that it was a 9 in base 10, but a Q in base 27.
Time for more running. God, my thighs are killing me. I swear, any moment now I'm gonna tear a muscle. I feel like every single cell of my body is dying for air. Damn, every breath I take is at core now. I feel like my lungs are gonna burst. Maybe just a short rest. No, I can't stop. Don't have time. Come on, legs. There can't be many more of these stupid these steps left. Let's run. Run! Like a bullet down a rifled barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant coiled dragon. Finally. Der muss jeden erstmal keuchen hören. Jesus, I can barely breathe. No, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together, you're almost there.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're finally here.
Please do.
Sure, you look like a big heavy door, but you're the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open, and you're gonna open now. I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Aoi's. He gave it a small, reassuring squeeze. I was so happy I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace. And not only because my brother and I were back together again. Thanks to the huge detective, all 9 of us who had been kidnapped were finally able to escape from the gigantic. On the distant horizon we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar as it finally slipped beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone.
It's over.
Aoi whispered.
Yeah.
It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it real? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. This was only a prologue to what would happen in 9 years. Yes, finally, air. Gah. Damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. Huh? I gotta admit, that doesn't quite look quite like... Wait.
No way.
You've gotta be shitting me.
What?
It can't be.
This is...
This is the building in the Nevada desert.
the mock experiment building.
Oh my god. This whole time we were in Building Q.
Entschuldigung, ich muss mich gerade so zurückhalten. Ich grinse gerade so unglaublich. Weil ich finde einfach, das ist so ein Moment so, und Spieler, wir haben euch die ganze Zeit verarscht. Na gut, die Charaktere wurden ja quasi verarscht. Ja. Die waren nie auf der Gigantic. Wie auch, das Ding ist gesunken. Aber sie waren halt nur in Nevada. Sure enough, that's a desert out there, with mountains all around it. Hello there, son. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. I don't think I have ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Huh? Did I just hear something fall? Right, our bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside of you. Just a little electronic chip, like in an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. There was never a detonator to begin with. Figures.
Akane.
Jumpy.
Hey. Guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing her voice in the wind. Ja. Ich möchte kurz sagen, jetzt kommt der richtige Abspann mit ein paar schönen Bildern dabei und allem, aber das ist noch nicht ganz das Ende. Es gibt noch eine kleine Post-Credit-Scene. Ich glaube sogar 2. Und ja, ich finde, wenn man so drüber nachdenkt, das Spiel ist so unglaublich gut durchdacht. Und ja, ich muss zugeben, da ich den dritten Teil gespielt habe, ein paar Informationen hatte ich, auch wenn der dritte jetzt nicht so viel vorgibt. Ich werde jetzt nichts über den dritten erzählen, für den Fall, dass ihr den noch nicht gesehen habt auf meinem Kanal. Ich empfehle euch auch, wartet, bis ich noch den zweiten hinterhergebracht habe. Das wird jetzt nicht direkt danach kommen, den muss ich auch nochmal aufnehmen und alles. Und der ist nochmal länger als der erste. Und, ja. Ich finde die Story einfach richtig klasse. Klar, jetzt werden einige sagen, wie ist es bitte möglich, dass Leute sich daran erinnern, wie Akane stirbt, wenn sie nie gestorben ist? Stellt sich die Frage, ist sie wirklich nie gestorben? Aber das ist halt eine Sache. Die ganze Spielereihe arbeitet auch sehr viel mit Viele-Welten-Theorie. Das heißt, dass Akane quasi nur eine Zukunft brauchte, in der Junpei ihr diese Informationen sendet. Sie hat allerdings die anderen Situationen quasi auch gesehen, die möglich sind. Und da gibt es sogar einige nette Theorien zu. Und es wird auch einiges vom Entwicklerchef da genannt. Ich glaube, der Abspann ist schon vorbei. Ich kann gar nicht mehr so viel labern. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Oh, come on. This is nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look okay.
It was just before the end of elementary school. Jumpy and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill, looking down at the town as the sun slowly set.
How does it look then?
He was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first.
Well, let's see. It looks like you kissed a toad and got warts, but then they just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does that even mean?
Junpei grinned and...
Oh, ow, 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 ow.
See? I told you you're not okay. You're too reckless. You can't beat 5 8th graders, Jumpy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I couldn't just stand there. I mean, don't you think so? I had to do something.
Look at the Nevada desert go past. For an SUV, this thing has a pretty smooth ride. Sure was nice of someone to leave it for us outside the building. Keys in the ignition and gas on the tank. Almost like it was a present, you know. Anyway, we jumped in, and now here we are, screaming across the desert. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. I still can't believe we let her drive.
Woohoo! This is so fun! This is so awesome! Driving is so great when there's nothing around. And there's no speed limit.
Immerhin kann sie hier nicht viel kaputt machen.
Hey, Clover, watch those bumps, all right? This car jumps even a little, and I think I'm gonna get crushed to death.
Hey, shut it. I can't help if I'm big, all right? Suck it up.
Why don't you drive, Seven?
I'm a cop. I ain't gonna break the law.
He doesn't have an international license.
Yeah, but you could have sat in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no. There's no way I'm giving this seat up. And Clover, there's no need to slow down. The car Santa and June are in should be somewhere down this road ahead of us.
Yeah, I saw some fresh tire tracks going out. There's no doubt about it.
Then we've got to hurry if we want to catch them, don't we?
Sure thing.
Oh shit! God damn it, she doesn't have to drive so fast. Man, I didn't even think a car like this could go this fast. We're sure throwing up a lot of dust. It was a couple hours after we'd run into the junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes on the back of one of the hills, drenching a kitten in gasoline. The moment we saw what they were doing, Jumpy ran up to them, furious.
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Then he jumped on them. He quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could.
Help me! Officer, please! You have to come with me!
The policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Jumpy, sprawled on the ground with a face covered in big swelling lumps.
You couldn't run away after you threw the kitty to me?
I asked him. He stuck his tongue out through the hole in his mouth where a tooth had fallen out.
Yeah, I guess I could've.
Then why didn't you?
I didn't want to. I wanted to beat him up. Beat him up real good.
Because of what they were doing to the kitty.
Yeah, that too, but I think they were the ones behind those murders our first semester. Remember?
Oh, you mean the bunnies.
Yeah, the bunnies.
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it into the wind.
They asked me what elementary school I was from, so I told them. And then they said they'd do the same thing to you that they did to the rabbits. I couldn't forgive them for that, so I... Hey, there's still some stuff I don't get.
Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
Like Ace. Well, I guess I should say Gitaro Hongo. Why did he create the Nonary project? Anybody? Any ideas?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess I could.
He's still in the trunk, I assume?
Ich fand diese Stelle beim ersten Durchspiel sehr, sehr lustig. Oh, ach, ja gut, Ace ist im Kofferraum, super. Yeah, he is. Still tied up, I'm assuming, with his mouth taped shut. His eyes just look empty, no emotion. He looks like he's just given up. I wonder if he even cares what happens to him anymore.
Hey, were you listening to us?
Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you weren't, you old bastard. Let's get that tape off your mouth.
Come on, I know you were. Answer me.
You could at least look at me when you talk, man.
I only wanted to see the faces. Human faces. I thought if I could gain the ability to access the morphic field set, then perhaps I could see faces. By peering into people's minds, you could understand how they were processing the expressions of others.
That's it?
Yes, if you want to put it simply. But if you are looking for a more philosophical answer, I can supply that as well. You see, the human collective consciousness...
I think that's enough out of you, pal. Time for the tape to go back on.
Alright, so what's your second question?
You said there were some things you didn't get, didn't you?
Well, somebody's a little nosy.
Well, my next question doesn't really have anything to do with you two. This is for you, Seven. It's about the whole Alice thing. What's the deal with that?
Well, see, 9 years ago, after I escaped from the Gigantic, I kept going after Hongo on my own, hoping I'd catch him when he finally slipped up. During the course of my investigations, I learned a lot more about the Gigantic. I also found out about Gourdain and Alice.
You're not really answering my question. Was there actually a girl who wouldn't melt at room temperature?
Sounds like Hongo has something to say. Alright, fine, I'll let you talk, but you're gonna behave.
What?
Alice doesn't exist. 9 years ago, I found Alice's coffin behind the library on the bottom deck. There was nothing in it but the root of a peculiar plant. My research determined that it was a member of the genus Mandragora, of the family Solanaceae. I was able to extract a particular alkaloid from it. I used that extract to create Soparu. Its creation was a tremendous boon to my firm, and we grew rapidly.
Shit, this is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on, Hongo. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride.
Here, this is for you.
What's this?
This is a for you doll. His name is Junpei.
Jumpy pulled something out of his pocket and shoved out his arm toward me. In his hand was a doll made of a yarn small enough to fit in his palm.
Jumpy, are you sure it's, for you, doll?
Huh? Yeah, the lady at the shop said so, that means it's for you, right?
Are you sure it's not a voodoo doll?
Wait, what? That's... Oh man.
Im Japanischen soll das Wortspiel übrigens besser sein.
Well, it sure looks like a voodoo doll. I mean, you do know what a voodoo doll is used for, right?
Yeah, I guess calling it Junpei isn't a very good idea then.
Yep.
Why are you giving me this anyway? It just seems really sudden.
You know how after June, we aren't gonna get to see each other too much? I mean, we're gonna be in different schools, and I just thought I'd,
Oh, okay, well, how about we call it June then?
Okay. So, I wanted to give you this.
You sound like some sort of tribal chief in a bad movie.
Yes. I, head of tribe. This doll, traditional charm of tribe. So I give this. It me. So we always together.
Oh, Jumpy.
If something bad, then hold and pray. I go wherever you are. So here, take.
I reached my arm out and picked up the doll gently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears streamed down my face and fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
Oh, Jumpy. I'll never forget you. I promise.
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
I'll never forget you either.
The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat, bathed in the warm light of evening. Just the two of us, leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set, and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one, the lights of the town began to flicker on. Schon rührend. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator on the Gigantic. But she's still alive now, as June. But how? Was it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that, then... how do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense. He's blind. He couldn't have seen her body anyway. But Seven? He said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Or... wait... maybe that's not it at all. There's one other logical explanation. Was what you told me the truth, Seven? You look satisfied. No. No way. He couldn't.
Hey, look! Over there. There's somebody next to the road.
Huh? What?
The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on the shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and a thumbs up. A thumb, too. It would not be long before Junpei realized who she was. Und damit haben wir's. Ende. Ach, schön. Ja, jetzt sehen wir auch, warum es sein kann, dass die Erinnerungen von Leuten nicht gepasst haben. Da gibt es nämlich zwei Erklärungen. Einmal gelogen, wie es zum Beispiel bei Seven der Fall sein könnte. Und, oh, wir sind jetzt wieder im Start. Ah ja, nee, speichern. Für den Fall, dass man weiß ja jetzt nie, ob die Aufnahme geklappt hat. So. Und jetzt sehen wir hier, wie viel danach noch gekommen ist. Ach ja. End. Ja, ich lasse es erstmal einfach da drauf, leg den Controller zur Seite. Ja, dann kann ich jetzt noch abschließend was zum Spiel sagen. Ich finde persönlich diese Story einfach klasse. Jetzt, was ich eben sagen wollte, zwei Möglichkeiten, wie es sein kann, dass die Erinnerungen nicht mit der Realität von früher übereinstimmen. Die eine Variante eben, dass es einfach gelogen war, was bei Seven durchaus passt. Oder wenn man schon in den Geist von Leuten eindringen kann, den Informationen senden kann, warum sollte man nicht auch Erinnerungen manipulieren können? Speziell der zweite Teil geht auf einige Sachen sehr stark ein. Jetzt nicht zwingend auf Erinnerungsmanipulation, aber eben auf diese sogenannten Esper-Fähigkeiten. Esper steht eben für, also falls jemand den Begriff ESP nicht kennt, das bedeutet Extrasensory Perception, also außersensorische Wahrnehmung. Dazu würde zum Beispiel sowas fallen. Dann eine Sache, die relativ deutlich in diesem Spiel wird, ist auch, dass dieses Transmitter-Receiver-Modell nicht so hundertprozentig stimmt. Also so wie das gedacht war, dass es vielleicht Leute gibt, die besser sind im Schicken und im Empfangen von Nachrichten über das morphogenetische Feld. Man merkt vor allem bei diesem Gespräch zwischen Akane und Junpei, beide senden und das relativ gut. Also vor allem Junpei muss ja eigentlich sehr, sehr viel gesendet haben, wenn Akane quasi alles durch seine Augen sehen konnte. Entsprechend ist das Modell nicht so hundertprozentig richtig. Der zweite Teil wird auf solche Fähigkeiten auch noch sehr stark eingehen, wobei der sich in gewissen Sachen doch stark unterscheidet. Aber insgesamt empfehle ich auch, wenn ich den hochgeladen habe und ihr habt den hier gesehen, seht euch auch den zweiten an und dann empfehle ich euch den dritten anzusehen, weil der das Ganze zu einem richtig schönen runden Ende führt, wie ich finde. Und ja, an sich, ich finde, der erste Teil ist schon an sich ein gutes Spiel. Und das Schöne ist halt, der bringt so viele verschiedene, das heißt so viele, es sind halt 9 verschiedene Charaktere, die alle relativ unterschiedlich sind und trotzdem sich, wie soll man sagen, es sind keine wirklichen Klischee-Charaktere. Okay, man kann jetzt bei Lotus sagen, ein bisschen Fanservice, ne? Dann kann ich auch noch ein bisschen was zu den Charakteren sagen. Also ich finde Ace als Bösewicht der Geschichte, obwohl er ja selbst nicht Zero ist. Zero ist ja niemand anders als Akane. Und man muss sagen, die ist eine gute Schauspielerin dafür. Allerdings ergibt es zum Beispiel auch Sinn, dass Akane die ganze Zeit so ein bisschen kindlich sich benimmt, weil sie weiß, ihr jüngeres Ich sieht zu. Muss man auch mal drüber nachdenken. Also da gibt es eine ganze Liste mit brillanten Sachen, die das Spiel gemacht hat, insbesondere was Storytelling und sowas angeht. Klasse. Und ja, ihr könnt auch mal mal in die Kommentare schreiben, was ihr von der Auflösung haltet. Aber der Entwickler, also der Chef der Entwickler wurde mal gefragt, was denn es mit bestimmten Sachen auf sich hat, Fragen, die nicht so unbedingt geklärt wurden. Und hat halt einiges gesagt. Und ich finde persönlich, Ace ist sehr interessant, weil das ein Böser ist, der, wie soll man sagen, er ist ein Psychopath, das merkt man. Der Kerl ist halt, er hat nicht wirklich viel Mitleid für Menschen, hat keine Skrupel, Leute zu töten. Aber dass seine Motivation ist, dass er einfach nur Gesichter sehen will, finde ich, ist einfach mal was richtig Interessantes. Er ist quasi nach wie vor ein Arschloch, muss man sagen, aber er ist gleichzeitig eine tragische Figur. Und speziell in dieser einen Szene mit Akane im Verbrennungsraum, Verbrennungskammer, da merkt man wirklich, also da sagt er ja selbst, wie sehr er darunter leidet. Auch wenn er das in einem Wutausbruch sagt, mehr oder weniger. Das ist interessant. Ich finde, der ist dadurch ein Bösewicht, der das Ganze so ein bisschen anders darstellt. Natürlich, er ist in allen schlechten Enden, außer im Axtende, der letzten Endes die meisten Leute umbringt. Oder zum Teil auch einfach alle mit einem Messer. In dem einen Ende zum Beispiel, wenn man sich jetzt fragt, wie kann es sein, dass der einen im Knife End ist, glaube ich, umbringt? Oder was? Nee, im Submarine End. Wie kann es sein, dass der da einen umbringt? Der liegt da doch, liegt da doch auch voller Blut bei den anderen. Ja, aber Puls gefühlt wurde zum Beispiel bei Clover und bei Seven, wenn ich mich recht erinnere. Nicht Seven, bei Clover und bei Santa. Aber nicht bei Ace. Ace hat sich da nur totgestellt. Das ist offiziell bestätigt. Dann mal weiter im Text. Snake. Oder wie er eigentlich heißt, Light. Finde ich, ist auch ein interessanter Charakter, auch wenn er so ein bisschen, sagen wir mal so, ich fand die geschwollene Sprache ein bisschen seltsam, aber an sich cool, nur da kann man halt nicht ganz so viel drüber sagen. Dann hat man natürlich noch Santa, oder wie er eigentlich heißt, Aoi. Klar, dass der irgendwie mit drin hängt, ist in den letzten Folgen klar geworden. Aber dass er eben doch nicht Zero ist, ja gut, es wurde quasi auch so ein bisschen gesagt, nee, irgendwas stimmt da mit dieser Theorie nicht. Ich frage mich überhaupt, wer darauf gekommen ist von euch, dass Akane Zero ist und vor allem wann. Aber weiter. Ich finde halt den interessant, weil das nach wie vor eigentlich nur also er ist ein liebender Bruder, der sowohl halt der es den Leuten heimzahlen will, die quasi ihn und seine Schwester vor 9 Jahren entführt haben. Will Akane ja auch. Und er will dafür sorgen, dass Akane in dieser Zeit überhaupt existieren kann. Und dafür braucht er nun mal Junpei. Weil Akane muss ja die Zukunft, die sie gesehen hat, quasi rekonstruieren. Wenn so eine Zeitlinie nicht existiert, dann kann das nicht so passen. Übrigens, dieses Spiel arbeitet noch nicht zwingend mit Viele-Welten-Theorie. Das ist eine Sache, die zum Beispiel bei den anderen Spielen sehr dominant ist. Aber hier gibt es eine Sache, die so ein bisschen dagegen spricht sogar. Nämlich Akanes Fieber. Das ist nämlich immer in den Momenten stark, in denen man sich auf eine Zukunft zubewegt, die eben nicht zu Akanes Rettung führt. Könnt ihr mal drauf achten. Ansonsten, Clover, okay. Bei Clover hat man gemerkt, sie ist, naja, ist relativ intelligent, aber ich sag mal emotional nicht die stabilste. Aber dennoch, ich finde, coole Sache, auch wenn das Axtende so ein bisschen sehr überraschend kam. Wobei nicht so überraschend, man sieht ja, da ist so ein Holzgriff, der bei ihr über die Schulter ragt. Ach, was hat die wohl damit vor? Ansonsten, ja gut, Junpei, den haben wir quasi kennengelernt über die ganze Geschichte. Das ist halt ein etwas sarkastischer Typ, aber ich finde ihn recht sympathisch. Ja gut, Akane. Muss man nicht so viel drüber erzählen, finde ich. Es ist ein sehr interessanter Charakter an sich. Ich finde nur, das englische Voice-Acting von Akane ist nicht so gut. Von Junpei finde ich zum Beispiel sehr, sehr gut. Aber über Akane habe ich jetzt mit anderen Fakten auch schon genug geredet. Dann haben wir Seven. Und Seven ist der einzige Charakter, der keinen offiziellen Namen hat. Die anderen Charaktere haben alle irgendeinen offiziellen Namen. Zum Beispiel, auch wenn der Name nie genannt wird also außer der Nachname bei Lotus, ist der richtige Name Kashiwabara Hazuki. Also Hazuki ist der Vorname. Ist offiziell bestätigt. Seven, da hat der Entwickler einfach gesagt, ja gut, Seven, da habe ich mir eigentlich keine wirklichen Gedanken gemacht und ich glaube, er braucht auch keinen Namen. Seven ist einfach Seven und das reicht. Ist auch eine Art, das wahrzunehmen. Gut. Und ansonsten gibt es natürlich noch Kubota, über den man nicht viel weiß, außer dass er ein ziemlicher Feigling ist. Also der 9. Aber Azuki, okay, da wurde dann auch gefragt, warum zum Henker hat Lotus dieses Outfit an? Naja, die ist, wenn ich das richtig in Erinnerung habe, offiziell hatte die halt als Hobby Bauchtanz und wurde vermutlich entführt, als sie auf dem Weg zu ihrem Kurs war. Tja. Oder man sagt einfach Fanservice-Gründe. Und so böse es klingt, in allen 3 Teilen gibt es so einen Charakter. Für die den 3. Teil schon gesehen haben, ich sag nur Mira. Ist nicht ganz so schlimm, aber ja. Und im zweiten Teil kommt so was auch vor, aber es ist jemand anders. Das kann ich schon mal verraten. Der zweite Teil wird übrigens auch sehr interessant und mit sehr viel Metakram und boah. Also ich freue mich. Mir macht's richtig Spaß. Und ich hoffe, euch gefällt die Geschichte genauso wie mir. Also ich finde ja gute Visual Novel Geschichten richtig gut. Und da finde ich, da braucht man auch nicht viel Gameplay. Ich finde, diese Adventure-Rätsel hier sind sehr gut gemacht. Unter anderem im ersten Teil noch, weil einem da wirklich viele Tipps teilweise gegeben werden, die sehr nützlich sind. Und also wenn man es einfach nicht schafft, wenn man es beim ersten Versuch es nicht schafft, geht zurück, also drückt immer B, geht aus dem Rätsel raus und dann sagen die einem, hör mal, ich habe da eine Idee, überleg mal das so und so. Und dann geben die einem immer wieder Denkanstöße. Und je länger du es nicht raffst, desto mehr Tipps geben sie dir. Ist jetzt hier in dem Let's Play, da ich alle Rätsel kannte, nicht so rausgekommen. Die meisten habe ich halt sofort gelöst. Im zweiten Teil sind die Rätsel etwas heftiger, finde ich. Aber ist auch nicht weiter schlimm. Habe ich irgendwas vergessen? Ja, also wie gesagt, ich hoffe, also für die den dritten Teil noch nicht gesehen haben, also Zero Time Dilemma, den gibt's ja auch auf meinem Kanal, einfach weil der vorher für PC raus war, als die Adaption der Mobile-Titel halt 999 und Virtue's Last Reward. Und ich empfehle halt nach wie vor, für die es nicht gesehen haben, seht es euch noch nicht an, bevor der zweite Teil oben war. Der zweite Teil legt nämlich eine gute Grundlage und ansonsten spoilert ihr euch auch den zweiten Teil ganz schön. Jetzt nicht so extrem, wie ich es erwartet hätte, also ihr könnt das ruhig sehen, aber ich empfehle es einfach, weil ich habe das Gefühl, dass ihr dann deutlich mehr Mindfuck-Momente kriegt. Und davon lebt der zweite Teil sehr. Aber ja, jetzt reicht's, ich habe euch genug zugelabert. 2 Stunden ging jetzt, glaube ich, die Folge. Holla die Waldfee. Das war Zero Escape, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Ich hoffe, ihr hattet genauso viel Freude daran wie ich. Ich weiß, manchmal war vielleicht meine Stimme ein bisschen blöd oder manchmal habe ich halt mal also mich verlesen und sowas. Das ist ein bisschen nervig, ich weiß, aber Englisch ist auch nicht meine Muttersprache und jeder verliest sich mal. Und ich habe halt versucht, so ein bisschen dann in vielen Situationen die Stimme so ein bisschen der Stimmung anzupassen. Ich hoffe, dass ich das halbwegs hingekriegt habe. Ich selbst kann das immer sehr schlecht beurteilen. Schreibt mal eure Meinung zum gesamten Projekt hin, wie ihr die Story fandet, wie ihr die Charaktere fandet, wie ihr meine Stimmleistung, wenn man es so nennen will, fandet. Ja. Und bald geht's dann weiter mit Virtue's Last Reward, wo dann die Geschichte fortgeführt wird. Allerdings ist der Hauptcharakter ein anderer, das kann ich schon mal verraten. Nun, genug geredet. Wir sehen uns dann in weiteren Projekten, hoffe ich. Viel Spaß dabei. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio!